So for day 9, I introduced Dorado to a couple of new objects to his pen. You can see he's kind of like, what the heck happened to my pen? So he's starting to learn how to be a little more curious. What you can't see is I'm giving him a treat for touching the barrel with his nose. He's getting a little bit better about taking cookies, and so I'm trying to use that to the best of my advantage with the positive reinforcement. And so next I am going to, what you can't see in this frame is there is a banner, so he's kind of really interested in that. So I send him to the banner, let him touch his nose on it, and he gets a reward. And now the same for the cone. He did really good. So I'm really starting to like his behavior. Now he's starting to lower his head. His ears are going to the side instead of alert and in front. So working on keep building the communication of sending him forward and then getting him to yield his hind legs. And he's getting much softer and a lot less reactive. But I still have a long ways to go in really letting him let down his protective walls that he likes to have up. So now I'm going to work on sending him around the barrel so he sees it in different points of his vision. So it'll be behind him, to the side of him. Sometimes horses will spook when something gets behind them, especially a white barrel. He's never seen that before. And then I'm going now back to rubbing him with the stick, and he's still, worried about me moving to the haunches area. So when he wants to turn a little bit too much, I'm going to ask the shoulders to go away. And then I decided to let him go ahead and move out a little bit, do a little bit of trot. And then I come back in and rub him again. For right now, so I like to kind of go back and forth between jumping up and down and then moving in and out, just getting them comfortable with when I'm doing direct asking him to move, and then when I'm desensitizing him to when I might fall down because I trip and I'm clumsy. And then I'm going back to touching the kind of sensitive areas, and he's still kind of on guard about that, but he's getting much better. And he's starting to really appreciate the rub on the forehead. You'll see he'll start to kind of come into it. And it's not aggressive. It's nice and soft. So he's lowering his head, and he's kind of like melting into it. And that's one of the really good feelings that I like to have. And I'm just going back and forth and getting him to where I can touch his legs, comfortable with the stick. It's just that repetition over and over and over. And you see there, he kind of came when I asked him to come in so I could rub him and reward. And so just giving them the rub, and then I'll back away in a minute. And there he wants to come in. And again, it's a soft energy that I'm feeling, and so it's really fun to feel that. And so now I'm working on teaching him the backup cue. And I'm just using the air right in front of him. And he responded pretty well to that in the beginning. So I was pretty happy with that. And then again, I'm going to suggest. And I'm going to slowly kind of walk in. Now he wants to turn his shoulders because he's getting a little confused. So this is where you just have to go a little slower and try to help correct them. And so I rewarded him for that because he did take a step back, even though it was still a little sideways. But that's just me having to work on getting him positioned for the backup. And so here I'm going to give, I still haven't touched him yet with the stick. It's still the suggestion of it. And there I give a little light tap. And he thinks he's supposed to go sideways. And I'm going to go a very light tap again. Light tapping. And he gave me 1 step, so then I rewarded that. And then I'm going to go again. Very light tap there. Got a step. I'm asking for 1 more. He thinks he's supposed to turn, so I'm going to correct a little bit with the halter. And then I lift my hands a little, and then I was able to get the back up. So then I rewarded him by backing away out of his space. And then again, he's a type of horse that likes to have his face touched when you come close. It's kind of now become a security. So this is actually a fun moment too, because even though he's trying to move me, I'm able to push him away, but he's feeling soft. So before, when I would touch him or try and push him off, he'd get very braced and very nervous and tense and bow up. But now he's learning to stay soft against and follow my hand. So a really fun moment there. And now I'm going to go back to kind of jumping up and down. And this is kind of preparing when I get in close to hop on their back. So this is why I do a lot of jumping up and down. You have to work on making that bubble where they're comfortable with you doing that closer and closer to their body. And then I try to change it up, and I go back and I touch his leg. And that time I didn't start up too high. I'm trying to get to where I can, isolate it and come in lower and lower. And then I give him a reward. And now I'm going to move to the back end. Which now that time he crossed over, but again, it was a much softer feeling he was giving me. And there I'm able to touch the hind leg. So as you can see, he's been really fun and receptive in this session. He's starting to give me some nice lick and chews, and he's got a good low energy. His ears are to the side, and he's becoming nice and relaxed. So we're working on building those building blocks.